If you're here, you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck is Planetside 2? In this video, I will explain everything you need to know about Planetside 2. Planetside 2 is a free-to-play massive multiplayer first-person shooter that is on PC, PS5, and PS4. The game contains 3 main teams that fight over large maps with the goal to gain the most territory on the planet called Araxis. This game is not a bunch of small sessions, but rather a game that is constantly ongoing with maps that rotate every 2 hours or so. The game has many features and functions which I will break down in this video, starting with the game's 3 factions. The Terran Republic. The TR was the original government. They strive to take back control over Araxis to maintain order and balance through any means necessary. They wear red and black armor and look like a standard military. Their guns tend to have a higher rate of fire with more ammo. Now this only counts for faction-specific weapons, as there are some weapons all factions can use. The New Conglomerate. The NC fight for freedom. They believe the TR are too strict and oppressive. They wear blue and yellow blocky armor that makes them look like weaponized Lego. Their guns tend to have higher damage, but at the cost of lower fire rate. The Vanu Sovereignty. The VS believe we should combine our tech with the alien tech found on Araxis to make our species more advanced. But the other factions didn't agree, as they were too busy fighting each other about who was more badass. Caught in between the war, the VS decided to join the war and kill anyone who gets in their way. The VS have a more futuristic look, with colors of purple, black, and gray along with their own futuristic tech. Their guns have almost no bullet drop except for snipers, but this comes at the cost of slightly less ammo and damage per bullet. Now there's a 4th faction I won't go over because they aren't a main faction. The NSO are mercenaries that play in any faction and can be unlocked once you reach around level 20. They generally are more of a solo playstyle and more skill. Explore it if you wish. Alright, I loaded. And what now? Oh yeah, I should look at the map. Let me go see what it's like right now and... Wait, what the fuck? The actual gameplay on the most basic level consists of defending and capturing bases on the map. On screen is a continent called Amerish, and you see that it's divided between 3 teams. To capture a base, you can only try to take a base that's connected to a base your team owns. Basically, you see these lines? That's a lattice line. If the enemy base is not connected to a base your team owns, that means you cannot take that base. This decides the direction and flow of battle. You may also see other additional information, like how many allies to enemies are at a base. You want to find a fair fight with an even amount of population. Up top you can also see who has the most territory currently. When you actually get to a base, you will see points like A, B, C, and D. Those you want to start taking over. Once you get most of all points, a timer will start, which is the time you have before the base is yours, or if on the opposing team, the time you have to retake the points before you lose the base. Some bases are bigger than others. Some of the smaller bases may have 1 or 2 points, while others can have up to 4. There are also other unique points of interest in some bases like gate shield generators, lifts, teleporters, different turrets, and much more. Lastly, at some point, a faction will get too much territory which will start an alert. Alert is a timer, which means the factions have to gain the most territory before the timer ends. Once that timer does, whoever has the most territory will gain the most XP and money as a reward, and the game will rotate to the next map, aka the next continent. Side note, you can also do side missions instead, like defending a mining drill or deliver messages to bases by driving around for quick XP and money, if you just want something more casual. Planetside 2 has 6 classes in total. They all look the same except for the difference in colors. The first one I'll go over is the Infiltrator, a stealth class that can snipe from afar, or if you want, get up close and wreak havoc with its knife. It also has a unique decoy grenade that can make shooting sounds to lure or distract enemies. This is the Light Assault class that has a jetpack. These guys are great for flanking enemies from above or carrying C4 to take out vehicles hidden around the map along with their rocket rifle. AKA a flying ferret that will bitch slap you if you don't pay attention. They also have great flashbangs that can help in flanking your enemies. This is the Combat Medic. This class makes the most XP in game because everyone is dying. The medic can heal its allies around them while healing themselves as their ability. They also have a tool which can heal individual people or revive people. Now, even though you're a medic, your name is Combat Medic. No one is going to think of you reviving them in front of a bunch of enemies, so clear the damn spot first. This class also has their own revive grenade and healing grenade which can only be used separately. This is the Engineer class. They make the second most XP in the game. The Engie could drop ammo, place turrets, barriers, you have to buy the barrier, and repair vehicles with their repair tool. Upgrading this class to its fullest can make it really good for defense too. As you can see on screen, I could hold down an entire point mostly by myself. But this game is all about teamwork, so I wouldn't really last long if it was against a lot of enemies. This is the Heavy class. They are a frontline soldier who has an overshield as an ability. They also have a rocket launcher to shoot vehicles or aircrafts. This class is also the only one who can equip heavy guns when you first start out. As a side note, if you're playing this class, make sure to use your overshield right before or mid-battle to sponge up bullets, but never before or after if you're running around, as the overshield will slow down your running speed. Plus, you're just wasting your ability energy. Lastly, we have the Max class. The Max is like a mech battlesuit who is great at being used as a push in an attack. The Max health can only be healed by engineers, and C4 tends to one-hit kill them, so it's best not to be used alone. Also, they can't capture points by themselves. Each faction has their own version of the Max. The TR Max can lock itself down in place for better fire rate, projectile speed, and reload speed. The NC Max can have a riot-like shield. The VS Max can overclock themselves for more damage. So, unless the base being attacked is on your team, the only way to spawn inside a fight is with a special vehicle called the Sunderer. You see this fat fuck on screen? It is a transport vehicle. This vehicle can be deployed near enemy bases. When deployed, any teammate can spawn on the Sunderer, and on the side of it, they can change or upgrade their class. This vehicle is the main way to start and maintain a fight at a base. If you drive these, you may see a red circle on the minimap. This radius dictates how closer you get to a base, but this radius is also 2D, so if you somehow get the fat fuck up the mountain, you could deploy in this radius. This vehicle is called the Flash, a two-seater that is used for quick transportation, or it can be upgraded to have a front gun and go invisible with the Infiltrator class for sneak attacks, aka being scared to actually fight head-on. This vehicle is the Harasser, a quick-moving three-seater with a booster and a top turret, a great vehicle for hidden runs against other vehicles. This vehicle is the Lightning, a small, quick-moving tank that does lots of damage but has low health. It usually is good for quick attacks, but not against multiple vehicles by itself. Now I need to go over each faction's main battle tank, or MBT for short. Each faction has their own tanks. The TR have the Prowler, a fast-moving tank that can easily circle around other vehicles, or anchor down in place for faster projectile speed to shoot from afar. This is the NC Vanguard. It is a slow, square-shaped tank with the most armor in game, with the ability that adds even more armor to its front and sides. It's slow, but deadly. The VS have the Mag Rider, a floating tadpole that can boost up hills and turn around in an instant with its multi-directional mobility. The Mag Rider is also the hardest tank to learn, as by default, it's really squishy, but in an experienced player's hand, it can be the most difficult to take out. Again, I will skip over the NSO. I will not be talking about their tank or aircraft in this video. On screen is the Ant. This is the last vehicle, and this vehicle can be used by any faction to mine a resource called Cordium. With this vehicle you can construct bases or set up good defenses. But that takes a while, and it's mainly used to run over a fuck ton of infantry for no reason with upgrades that consume Cordium. I will now go over the aircrafts of the game. On screen is the Galaxy, a highly armored dropship mounted with 4 versatile weapons that are effective at damaging ground and air targets. The Galaxy has an astounding transport capacity, capable of carrying an entire squad consisting of 12 soldiers, or your mother. Also beware the whale rituals that Galaxies do by ramming into small targets. Next up is the Liberator. This aircraft is a 3-seater with 3 guns. It is used against ground vehicles mostly and is deadly against those who find themselves without any anti-air or cover. The Liberator is a hard aircraft to master on itself, but it can be deadly in the right hands. This is the Valkyrie. Similar to the Galaxy, it is a transport ship, but it's much more smaller and quicker with 1 under turret. The Valkyrie is the only other aircraft that protects from fall damage. Side note, this and the Galaxy can be used as a spawn point if a squad member is in the driver's seat. Now it's time to go over the ESFs, or Empire Specific Fighter. The TR have the Mosquito. It is the easiest aircraft to learn in game while having the fastest flying speed. It has decent boosters and hovering too. The NC has the Reaver. They have the best boosters in game with a gun that does great burst of damage, but overall the Reaver has the biggest hitbox, making them an easy target to shoot compared to the other ESFs. The VS have the Scythe. This aircraft has great mobility, being able to turn it easily, and has the smallest hitbox in game, making it extremely hard to shoot. But, because of its great mobility, it's a little hard to learn how to fly at first. Now the last thing I want to go over is outfits. And I know, I don't mean the clothes you think you look good in, but the in-game clans or guilds. The best part of this game is that you could have hundreds of people at one base, and to experience that the fullest would to be joining a coordinated outfit. This game is a game where you would die a lot, and I mean a lot. A game where you have people who have been playing for 8 years, and others who have been playing for a few weeks versus you. You may say, it's just a community, I'm fine alone. And if you really prefer solo, then I would go NSO. But, outfits in this game are more than communities. Outfits have power, where they can spawn special things. For example, bastions, giant aircraft carriers that can dominate the sky, or bombard bases. These bastions have multiple guns with hardpoints around the ship that acts as its weaknesses. Outfits can also spawn a Colossus, a big tank that can shred vehicles easily while being used for pushes, but its main use is to be anti-bastions, which can be seen here. In Sanctuary, if you're in an outfit, you can earn a currency called merits, which can be used to buy different boosters, cosmetics, or special equipment. Speaking of currencies, there are also a few others. The onion rings are certs, which is used to upgrade or buy most things. Then there's nanites, the blue pokeball, which is a balancing currency. It is used to spawn stuff or refill your explosives, meaning you can't spam tanks infinitely, as you have to wait 60 seconds to get 50 nanites, the nanite itself capping at 750. You then have ISO, which is used to buy side buffs known as implants. Lastly, you have A7, which is just for random stuff. You may also notice BC. This is just a premium currency, which you do not have to worry about unless you really want cosmetics. That concludes today's video. I hope that this breakdown of Planetside 2 helped you a lot, or at least got you interested in the game enough to try it. Remember, it won't be easy to start out, but it'll be hella fun in the long run.
What did you think of you and your brother?